pleasure to welcome you all today to this webinar. This session is organized in partnership with the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator, Apex Brazil, and the EU delegation in Brasilia. I would also like to acknowledge the support of the Brazilian Ministry of Development, Industry, Trade and Services in helping to disseminate this event. Thank you very much. Before we begin, just a brief note. This session is being recorded and will be made available online in the coming days. The presentation slides here will also be shared with all participants. So today, we aim to better understand how the Digital Accelerator works, who can apply, and how it can support partnerships between Brazilian, European, and Caribbean companies. We will start with a short introductory remarks from the Mission of Brazil, from Apex Brazil, and the EU delegation in Brasilia, focusing on the digital cooperation between Brazil and the European Union, and also its potential for the private sector and for business in general. This will be followed by an overview of the Digital Accelerator program, including the matching platform and acceleration services provided. We will then hear a success story from TechBalance, a Brazilian startup that has benefited from the program and successfully expanded internationally. We will conclude with a Q&A session. Please feel free to submit your questions via the chat we have over here below in our screen. And at the end, I will collect some questions. And throughout the session, the Digital Accelerator team will also be answering some of them online and in writing so that we can have as many possible questions answered. We hope that today's session is both productive and inspiring. And without further ado, I now have the pleasure of giving the floor to Minister Eduardo Ferreira from the Mission of Brazil to the EU, known as my boss. So now you have the floor.
Thank you, Jonas. Good morning, good afternoon to all. Mr. Alex Figueiredo, head of the Apex Brazil office in Brussels, Mr. Alexander Kuhl, Cooperation Attaché at the EU delegation in Brasilia, Ms. Maika Grodzki, co-director of the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator, Mr. Miguel Rodrigues, Open Innovation Consultant at the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator, Ms. Fabiana Almeida, founder and CEO of TechBalance. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Mission of Brazil to the European Union, it's a pleasure to open this webinar, organized in partnership with the European Commission's DG INTPA, Apex Brazil, and the EU delegation in Brasilia, to whom I extend my sincere thanks for their close support and coordination. In an increasingly fragmented and uncertain global landscape, the digital agenda between Brazil and the European Union stands out as an area of strong convergence between two trusted partners. This convergence goes beyond regulatory alignment and extends to the promotion of business opportunities and innovation ecosystems. We maintain a structured bilateral dialogue on digital issues, which has convened 13 times to date, most recently last year. During the latest edition, Brazil and the EU reaffirmed their shared commitment to advancing digital development, fostering and enabling environment for innovation, and upholding democratic values and fundamental rights in the digital sphere. In recent months, we have made tangible progress across several fronts. In January, a new milestone in a bilateral relationship was achieved, with the mutual recognition of adequacy in personal data protection. Following over 2 years of negotiations, both sides adopted an adequacy arrangement through unilateral decisions acknowledging that their respective frameworks ensure an equivalent level of data protection. The bilateral understanding will encourage investment, business partnerships, and joint research and innovation projects involving intense data processing. The EU The Brazil-EU adequacy arrangement establishes the world's largest area of trusted data flows, benefiting a combined market of 670 million consumers. It will reduce regulatory costs and boost bilateral digital trade by an estimated 7 to 9%, thereby creating concrete opportunities for companies operating across the two markets. At the bi-regional level, Brazil is actively engaged in the EU-LAC Digital Alliance, launched in July 2023. We are among the European Union's key partners across several flagship initiatives under this framework, including the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator, which is the focus of today's webinar. The program plays an important role in connecting European and Latin American companies, enabling innovation-driven partnerships and market expansion. Brazil's participation has been steadily increasing, reaching second place in terms of partnerships formed in the second call of 2025. Nevertheless, we have yet to fully realize our potential, largely due to limited awareness of the program and its requirements. I trust that today's webinar will help bridge this gap by providing practical guidance and encouraging greater participation. The strong level of registrations is a clear indication of the business community's interest in deepening ties with European partners and scaling internationally. Looking ahead, the close ties between Brazil and the European Union in promoting digital innovation opens a broad and promising avenue for cooperation in the years to come. We look forward to continuing to work closely with all of you, and you can count on the mission's support in strengthening connections with European stakeholders. I wish you all a very productive event, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister, for these words of introduction and this comprehensive overview of the bilateral relationship and recent developments in the digital domain that will facilitate business and I think are of the interest of both Brazilian and European companies. So it's now my pleasure to invite Mr. Alex Figueiredo, head of Apex Brazil's office in Brussels, and a very close partner and friend to the mission. Alex, it's great to have you here. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Jonas. It's a huge pleasure to be here. I'm very happy, very happy. So good morning, everyone. Bom dia a todos no Brasil. Good afternoon for the colleagues here in Brussels. First of all, I'd like to thank the Brazilian mission to the EU, the EU delegation to Brazil, DG INTPA, and the entire EU-LAC Digital Accelerator team for co-organizing this webinar. As Jonas just said, I am the head of Apex Brazil, the Brazilian Trade Investment Promotion Agency in Europe, and I'm based in Brussels, which, by the way, is finally signing here, and where we promote Brazilian exports, we attract investment, and also support the internationalization of Brazilian companies, including startups across Europe. We very much welcome the program that will be present today, and we are proud to support this webinar because we strongly believe in the importance of startups that are key drivers of innovation, not only in Brazil, but also worldwide. Just to give you some numbers, the numbers of startups in Brazil mapped by the Sebrae Startups platform increased from around 18,000 in 2024 to 23,000 last year, showing a fast year-over-year growth. However, only a portion of these startups has reached the level required for international scaling. And it is with this in mind that Apex Brazil supports startups in expanding into international markets. This support is based on our assessment on the main challenges startups face when go international. So I would say access to capital to finance expansion, understanding regulatory requirements in target markets, adapting to cultural and business differences, also building stronger local network and connections. And depending on international stage of your startup, we offer a tailored support for those companies. So we say including training and mentoring, but also soft landing programs that allow our startups to explore markets and to better understand local ecosystems. One good example in this is the currently doing is the incubation program that we are developing in our office in Lisbon. We choose 10 Brazilian companies to deep dive in the Portuguese markets and also European markets. And also you offer international acceleration initiatives connecting you with investors, potential clients, and also strategic partners. Some examples, we promote participation in global events and business missions, such as the Web Summit in Rio and Lisbon, the Vivatech in Paris, the 4 Years from Now in Barcelona, which are excellent events for visibility, networking, and business development. So we are also focused on new opportunities. We are studying here, so such GITEX in Berlin, also the South by Southwest in London. So another great example, which I'm currently work a lot, is a special program that we are developing for the Hannover Messe, which is the largest industrial trade fair in the world. And it's going to kick off in just 10 days, where we are bringing 60 Brazilian startups and participating in a very intensive program dealing directly with huge companies like Siemens, Bosch, doing like some challenges with Embraer and so on, showing like partnership with international startups in Hanover is going to be great. So just to finalizing my short introduction, we really welcome initiatives like the EU-LAC Digital Acceleration Program, as they align closely with what we are doing at Apex Brazil. So we see it as a great opportunity for you guys, Brazilian companies, to test your solutions, to reach new customers, and also to connect with the European innovation ecosystem. So I really encourage you to explore this program here in Europe. So thank you very much once again for the partnership, and I look forward to today's discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. That was really interesting, very building on this perspective and also on the opportunities that we see from what you have just said, that are many available for Brazilian startups to internationalize and scale up. So that would be really interesting to hear about more in this session, in this webinar, about the program and how it can benefit these companies. So I now have the pleasure of giving the floor to Mr. Alexander Cole, Cooperation Attaché at the EU delegation to Brazil. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If not, you can totally correct me afterwards. But to share the European perspective on this digital cooperation and on this program, from this point of view of a person who is based in Brasilia and working for the European Union. Alexander, thank you very much for joining us. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Jonas. No, that was excellent. You pronounced it perfectly. Minister Ferreira, colleagues from the Brazilian mission to the European Union, Apex Brazil, and Tecnalia, dear participants, especially representatives of startups, SMEs, and corporations, bom dia to Brazil, boa tarde to Europe, and thanks all for joining us today. It's really a great pleasure for me to open this webinar on the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator, because it is a very concrete example of how the European Union and Brazil can work together to turn innovation into real business opportunities. The European Union is the leading investor in Latin America and the Caribbean. We see companies in both regions as essential partners for achieving a fair, green, and digital transition. This is one of the central ambitions of the European Union's Global Gateway Investment Agenda, through which we seek to mobilize strategic investments and reinforce the partnership between the EU, Brazil, and Latin America and the Caribbean. In the digital field, this cooperation already covers a broad agenda. As the minister already mentioned, we have a lot of areas where we cooperate very closely with Brazil over the past. Connectivity, 5G, digitalization of public services, broadband access, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and the use of space data and digital technologies to strengthen competitiveness and growth. Within this wider framework, the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator is a key pillar of the EU-LAC Digital Alliance. Its objective is simple but powerful, to connect corporations with innovative startups and SMEs on both sides of the Atlantic, and to help transform promising collaborations into concrete partnerships with international potential. And this is particularly relevant for Brazil, in our view. Brazilian startups and SMEs have strong capabilities, strong creativity, and strong market potential. And as Jonas said, I'm based in Brasilia, so I know what I'm talking about. I have come to know a lot of you innovative startups and SMEs, and it's indeed great. Through this accelerator now, you can connect with European and Caribbean partners, respond to real corporate challenges, test your solutions, and scale innovative business models. That's the hope behind it. The accelerator actually already shows encouraging results. It has built a growing community of corporations, startups, and ecosystem actors. It has already identified hundreds of digitalization challenges and supported dozens of collaboration agreements. This is exactly the kind of practical cooperation that the EU under the Global Gateway wants to deliver: innovation, investment, skilled jobs, and stronger digital ecosystems. I would also like to underline an important evolution in the support offered by the accelerator. In addition to tailored in-kind acceleration services, the accelerator now also provides direct financial support with grants for startups and SMEs. This makes the offer even more concrete and even more attractive for companies ready to move from their ideas to pilot projects and proof of concept. Therefore, today's webinar is very timely. It should help familiarize you with concepts such as open innovation, corporate venturing, innovation financing, and collaborative scaling models. And we would also like to use this opportunity to promote the 5th open call for partnerships under the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator, which will remain open until, I think, the 12th of June 2026. Later, the colleagues can correct me if I'm wrong, please. So I encourage all participants to explore this opportunity, whether it is of interest for you. And now I'd like to end with reassuring that the European Union will continue to work closely with Brazil, as we've done in the past, to advance on our common objective, which is advancing a human-centered and inclusive digital transformation. I'm confident that today's discussion will help generate new partnerships and hopefully open new paths for cooperation and investment between Europe, Brazil, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Thank you very much, and I hand back the word to Jonas.
Thank you. That was really great to hear this commitment by the European Union of strengthening this partnership with Brazil on the digital domain. And the remarks were really insightful. I really appreciated this turning innovation into opportunities, because sometimes we discuss a lot of this in academia and also having these models built, but they're not actually marketed. So this is a webinar also about these business opportunities and these partnerships to make products and make them available to the public. So that was really, really great to hear. And so also the capability of our Brazilian startups, and that's actually one of the things that motivated the session, because we are second right now at the latest call, but we shouldn't be, right? Because of the potential of the Brazilian companies and startups. So, and now with the grants, I think it will be really interesting for everyone to hear more about it. And now that and thank you very much for the participation of Minister Eduardo, Alex, and Alexander, the other Alex. So the three of you for setting the scene and giving this institutional perspective. And now that we have set this broader context, let us turn to the digital accelerator itself. I'm pleased now to give the floor to Ms. Maika Gorostidi, the co-director of the program, will present how it works in a more general way and application requirements, and so that we can have this general overview of the program itself. Maika, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Jonas, and thank you very much to my colleagues panelists. And also, I would like to thank all participants for their interest in learning more about the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator. So I'm going to start by sharing a short presentation. So just... I'm sorry. Oh, we have been trying before and I don't know why. Now it's not. Here it is. Can you confirm you can see it?
Yes, Maika, we can see it.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay. Well, Alexander has already given us some of the main messages about the accelerator, so I don't know if I am going to be very innovative. In any case, I will start by saying that, as all of you know, EU-LAC Digital Accelerator is an initiative launched by the European Commission in 2023, and it's going to last until the end of 2027. As he said, the main mission, the main objective of this accelerator is to generate digital businesses between organizations from Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean. I would like to share with you some key messages about the accelerator and some of the values that I consider are in this accelerator. So the first one is that the scope, the international scope. Probably most of you know a lot of local accelerators, national or regional accelerators, but I don't know how many of you know this international accelerator that connects organizations from different regions, in this case from Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean. So we foster partnerships between established companies and startups to launch market-ready digital solutions. And something that I don't know if has already been said, but in any case I will repeat it, is that this acceleration program is 100% funded by the European Union. So how do we achieve the objective of the acceleration? We work in this acceleration pathway that is, it has two main phases. The first one is the one we call Match, in which we connect organizations and regions. And the second one is the one we call Build, in which we offer acceleration services, as Alexander said before, and also we give grants for startups that are going to develop a proof of concept. So in the first phase, what we do is to identify digital challenges from corporates or companies, and we support them to describe these digital challenges. Once we have identified those challenges, we look for startups that can have innovative solutions that meet the requirements of those digital challenges. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, from one side, we have a corporate with a digital challenge, and from the other side, we look for a startup with the innovative solution. We connect them. And this also another important thing is I mentioned before, we not only connect corporates and startups, we also connect regions. So if one digital challenge comes from a corporate from Europe, the solution should come, and now I'm going to talk only about Brazil, should come from Brazil, and the opposite. If the challenge comes from Brazil, the solution should come from Europe. Well, once we have connect them and they are interested in a potential digital business and in receiving, in benefiting from our acceleration services, they have to apply to what we call the open call for EU-LAC partnerships. These open calls, we launch these open calls twice a year. We are in the 5th open call. It is open up to date. And in fact, you were right, Alejandro, is going to be open until mid-June. So I encourage all startups and all corporates, if they are in the participants of this webinar, to participate in this 5th open call. So that the application that has to be jointly, that means it has to be with the digital challenge and the solution, the corporate and a startup may apply to the open call. And if they meet the criteria of the evaluation committee, they can move on to the second phase in which they can benefit from the acceleration services offered by the different members of the accelerator. I'm not going to go into depth of these acceleration services because my colleague Miguel later on will describe them, but just some key messages. These services are valued at up to 30,000 euro or 40,000 euro if a Caribbean partner is involved. There are from different categories, 3 categories. The first one is the proof of concept, the second one is business case, and the third one is investment and scaling. I said at the beginning that one of the main values of the accelerator is the international scope, but I will also say that the other value is the variety of members of the accelerator that allow us to offer these acceleration services by an experienced team around the world. I mean, not around the world, sorry, around these 3 regions, the Caribbean, Latin America, and Europe. Here you can see who are the members of the acceleration, but also I invite you to access to our website, and so you can see the profiles of the different organizations. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Well, and additionally to these in-kind services that I mentioned, and also Federico mentioned in his intervention, we also offer grants for a startup that can be valued up to 10,500 euros, 7,000 euros for proof of concept development. And in the case that the test of the solution has to be done in a real world environment, the startup could also apply to up to 3,500 euros, up to 2,000 to travel to the corporate's premises to execute the proof of concept, and up to 1,500 to the transport if it is necessary equipment to test the solution in a real world environment. I would like to also introduce you our matching platform, because in our matching platform, all the startups can see the challenges that are uploaded up to date, okay? So some figures about the matching platform. I'm not going to give you all the details. This presentation is going to be distributed among all the participants, but I would like to highlight the historic challenges that have been identified up to April 2023. More than 470 challenges have been identified, and currently up to date we have active 63 of them. So startups, I invite you to go to our matching platform that probably my colleagues from the accelerator now, I am including the link in the chat. So I invite you to register and to see which are these digital challenges. Some figures concerning Brazil about the registrations. These are the different typology of stakeholders that can be registered. And in the case of Brazil, it's about the 4% of the registration. I mean, this corresponds to the 5% of the registration of Latin America and the Caribbean. So up to now, I've been talking about our objective. I've been saying what we do. But which are the results of the open call? Remember, we started in 2023. We are going to last in 2027. And here you can see that up to date in the different open calls, we have, these are figures from the fourth part of the fifth open call. We have received 171 applications. And remember, jointly applications, that means corporate with a startup, okay? So that means that we have received about applications with about 350 organizations involved. But the most important of this table is that we have already accelerated our acceleration services and grants to 33 partnerships, and we are now accelerating 35 of them, and we are keeping increasing. That means that more than 65 partnerships have been accelerated or are being accelerated. And concerning Brazil, which is the impact of the accelerator? So we have received 16 applications with Brazilian entities, and out of the 16, 7 of them have signed a collaboration agreement. That means that have received or are receiving acceleration services. And in this case, you will see that these partnerships come from organizations from Brazil and different countries from Europe, such as Portugal, Spain, Netherlands, Sweden, and Italy. And I will also like to invite you to go into our website and to see our success story. Today, we have the pleasure to count on one of our success story, Tax Balance and Cuidados. So you are going to hear in person which has been their experience. And just to finish, remember, we have more than 50. In this case, we are talking more than 65 transatlantic partnerships already joined the accelerator. Please, I invite you, all of you, to benefit from this opportunity that the European Commission is giving to all of us. So thank you very much. And of course, if you have any doubt, you can ask your question in the chat, or we will be available after in the accelerator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Micah, for this overview of the program. It was, I think, very clear, and to see really how it's funded by the European Union. So it's really a good opportunity, and there's a time lapse because next year the program is expected to end. So now it's the time to really take advantage of this opportunity and foster the partnerships. And so now moving to a more practical dimension, operational dimension of the accelerator, Mr. Miguel Rodrigues, Open Innovation Consultant, the Digital Accelerator, will walk us through the application process and mainly the matching platform, how does it work, and some services offered by the accelerator. Miguel, thank you for being with us. The floor is yours.
My pleasure, and thank you for organizing this webinar, and thank you to everyone who is joining us today. As mentioned, I will deep dive into the open call and the value propositions that we have both for corporates and startups. So let me share my screen. So one minute. Okay, as mentioned, I will give an overview on how the open call works and what kind of services we can provide both to corporates and startups who are considering to apply to our accelerator. Our starting point is that most corporate startup collaborations fails to deliver the expected results. This is the hard truth. There are many collaborations, innovation projects that start being run together by both parties, but most of them fails to deliver what it is expected. According to some studies done by our partners, almost 70% of those collaborations fails to deliver. Our goal, obviously, is to support both sides and make those collaborations successful. As we mentioned in our website and in some presentation message that we have, our goal is to bring partnerships in the 30% batch of successful collaboration. So this is the problem that we identify. And in order to provide one solution or one potential solution to this, we run twice a year open calls in order to support those partnerships and in order to help both parties to work together right. Right now, the open call is live. You can find all the information also on our website, and you can send an application until June 12 this year. As Micah was mentioning, the main differentiation here is that what we are supporting are partnerships. It means that we need one corporate and one startup working together and requesting our support, and we need to involve 2 of the 3 regions of the project. It means we need to have one partner from Latin America and another one from the Caribbean or Europe. So just to say that the open call is live, and you can apply right now through our website. It's quite an easy process to at least to get in touch with our team. What we have to propose, or what is the value propositions that we are providing to you, are mainly a set of services which are free of charge for all participants, and a set of grants in order to deploy a proof of concept, in order to make some tests, some trial on the innovation projects that corporate startups are running together. So our main goal here is to guide those partnerships to get innovation projects closer to market readiness through services and helping with some grants in order to enable the process. How it works is once we get your application, we evaluate that, and this is accepted or declined. If accepted, we work together on a roadmap. It means we define what milestones we want to achieve in the following 6 months, and which are the main assumptions that needs to be tested during the process. And we can assist in 3 areas. First, we can assist in implementing and deploying a proof of concept. It means testing the technology, testing that the technology works. We can assist building the business case. Obviously, both mainly the corporate, if they want to support a startup, they need to have some evidence that this business can scale, that there is a market opportunity there, and so on. So this is something that we work very closely with you in order to really understand what is the business case and what is the potential for both parties. And last, we support on the investment side. We assume when deploying international operations, companies will need funding, both private or public. So we work closely with you in order to get ready to welcome investors on board, or to get access to public funding programs in order to follow up the process that we have started together. So this is what we have to offer. Once again, services free of charge for applicants, and grants in order to deploy a proof of concept. The outcomes that participants will get is a 6-month support in order to mitigate some risks that those kind of partnerships normally have. and the kind of work that we do, or the kind of risks that we try to mitigate. You can see several of them on the screen. First is or we provide support, or we mitigate risk by deploying a proof of concept in order to prove that the assumptions that we have are right or not. Then we work on demonstrating that there is a real business case to scale. Otherwise, it won't be of interest for corporate partners to support those kind of relationships. We help to get first performance indicators in order to have some initial information to integrate startup solutions into corporate processes. We align together expectations from business and innovation units from the corporates, which normally are not necessarily aligned. And lastly, we work mainly with startups on becoming a target in order to get private or public investors. So those are the typical outcomes that participants will get. Obviously, it will depend on the specific cases that you are working on. So based on your specific needs, we can customize both the services that we provide and both the outcomes that we expect. So this is very summarized how it works. We do our best to deliver what you expect, and we measure and we get feedback on a regular basis from participants. Those are the six main services, or the six services that has been best rated by participants in the accelerator. So you will see different kind of support, from proof of concept, prototyping, international growth, scaling into corporate structures, business model design, open innovation bootcamps, or investment readiness and matchmaking. Those are different categories, different kind of services, and those are normally the most popular among our participants. As mentioned, we can provide to the startup up to 10,500 euros in grants in order to deploy a proof of concept, to travel to corporate premises, or to send some equipment to their facilities. This is something that is up to what the corporate can provide to the startup in order to provide a solution. So once again, services, grants, in order to make those relationships work, or to provide at least some support during the first 6 months. There are 4 criteria that partnerships must fulfill in order to apply to the accelerator. First is to address a digital transformation challenge. Then is to have at least one corporate and one startup or SME partners. So we need that the application is sent by both partners, that both partners want to get support from us, not only for one side. Then we need to include partners from different EU-LAC continents, being Latin America, Caribbean, and Europe, the 3 regions of the accelerator. So we need at least 2 of those 3 regions involved in the partnerships. We are supporting here international growth. And then have a partnership sign or an agreement, or planning to do so. This is in order to cover all confidential issues and all legal issues between parties. So what we are welcoming are partnerships that are already in place, or that will be in place in the very short term. Those are the 4 criteria that applicants must fulfill, and there are 2 ways to apply. If you already have a corporate startup partnership, you can go to our website, go to the open call section. You will find a button there, apply here, and there is a very brief questionnaire in order to get some information on your project. It takes 5 minutes to be complete, and once this is delivered, one person from our team will get in touch with you in order to provide all the information about how this process works and what are the next steps. but the process is quite simple. You send an application, we evaluate if this is eligible or not, and if the outcome is positive, we sign an agreement in order to start delivering your services and providing you the grant. If you don't have a partnership yet, the first step is to get one. So you can go to the Matchit platform that Micah was sharing before. There you will find a marketplace of different challenges from corporates, and this is a way that we have in order to promote that new partnerships are being formed. So those are the two ways to apply. Once again, if you already have a partnership, please send us a message through our website. If not, go to the Matchit platform and start finding your right partner. And that's it from my side. I just wanted to give a brief overview on how does it work. As mentioned, it's quite simple. I encourage everyone who may be interested or who want to get more information about this to book a brief meeting with me or one people from our team, and we will assist on clarifying any doubts you have. You have a QR here on the screen, so you can book a meeting, and we will start from there. So I encourage you once again to book a meeting, and we can discuss about your specific project in more detail. And that's all from my side. Now the floor is for Fabiana. He will guide us through her company and through her process within the accelerator. So I don't want to take any more time. So thank you so much to everyone. And as mentioned, we are here to share your project and to discuss about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Fabiana, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I will share my screen. Can you see?
Yes, we can see it, Fabiana.
Oh, sorry.
Fabiana, are you with us? Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry. I need to share my screen. I don't know why. It's I don't know.
Fabiana, we are seeing your screen.
Yeah, we
Yeah?
can see the screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now I will share with you my, I don't know why the not run the presentation. Can you understand? Okay. Oh my God, I don't know why my presentation it's not run. Okay. The problem that we solve is musculoskeletal disorders. That is the leading cause of claims costs in Europe, and the third leading costs in America Latina. One in every 6 people has a significant disability. This is a leading cause of global disability, with 1.7 billion people lives with pain or physical limitations. And this is a huge problem for us because the world are getting older, and by 2050, older adults will increase from 12% to 22%. 8% of this population lives with low-income countries. If we think that knee issues and spine issues start at 35 years old, we need to develop good and real good habits. Our solution is a scalable technology that promotes orthopedic prevention, well-being, and longevity with early diagnosis that save lives and preventive care that reduce costs. We have two main products. The first is Tech Balance Sport, that is a 35+ program that optimizes physical performance, combats a sedentary lifestyle, and prevent injuries using technology. And the second is technology safe, Tech Balance Safe, that is a 65+ program that promotes motor health and longevity to prevent falls and promote our physical autonomy. Our patient has a Tech Balance journey that starts with an anamnesis, that is an online questionnaire with information regarding the patient's clinical history, and a physical test that is the real technology from Tech Balance. It's an evaluation, a physical evaluation, that is a comprehensive physical motor test aimed at determining which program best suits the patient. This technology, with this test, physical test, the patient can access a personalized exercise routine by risk assessment. When the patient has a low risk assessment, the patient is able to develop their treatment by the app with professional support by WhatsApp. When the patient has a medium risk, the patients will be in online treatment as a telemedicine plus app. And when we have a high risk assessment, the patients will be in person or at referral clinic as more similar physiotherapy traditional. Our objective is always move the patients from the rehabilitation to the self-care. We always treat based in protocols as pain and sedentary lifestyle, musculoskeletal injuries, and prevention falls. In addition of these main two products, we have another product, the third product and business model, that is named Tech Balance Studio, that is an in-person clinic solution offered through franchise and partnerships, in which Tech Balance provides its expertise, technology, and staff to partners and strategic markets. In this year, in the next month, we'll launch our first in-person clinic at São Paulo and our first international unit at Lisbon. Regarding special about this internationalization, EU-LAC acceleration digital program, it was the key for us because we are able to structure and formalize our partnerships that nowadays are the base of our first unit in Europe. With our grant, 30,000 euros in grant that we received, we can achieve soft landing European plan, CS certification from the Pedro Nunes Institute in development by now, our proof of concept with Irmãs Hospitaleiras in developing by now, but now with the first article in a Congress, in a European Congress in this month, and an indirect impact, but we received an investment by Core Angels Atlantic with 100,000 euros to implant our first unit in Europe. I'd like to thank you, very thank you to EU-LAC, especially our advisors in EU-LAC, Frederico, Ruben, Kahandi, and Orilai Prati, that it was very kindly and very patient with Tech Balance and me in my program. And today I am here to talk to you my experience that was very, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabiana. It was really great hearing about this experience and how the program indeed had a positive result for you. And congratulations on opening this first unit in Europe. So it really shows the internationalization and how it works. So we're a little bit ahead of time. I see that most questions are answered in the Q&A. There's only one question remaining, but I think it's an important question. So I'd like to send it to Micah. That's a question that about the presentation that the program has an end date, 2027. So the question is, what will happen? I don't know if you already have that answer. I know that probably not, but what would happen after this deadline and this 2027? Do we have something new about the digital accelerator or some new program regarding these partnerships of startups and corporates? So Micah, to you.
Thank you, Jonas. In fact, I have not the answer to that question because, as you know, the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator is an initiative launched by the European Commission, and it's the European Commission who has to decide what is going to be after. But since what I know, and this is what I said, is that the program, this project ends in 2027. So there is time until then to all the participants who are here to join the accelerator and to benefit from it. Okay, so for me now, since we don't know what is going to happen after, I encourage all the participants here to join the accelerator.
Thank you. Perfect. So I really would like to thank you all for your active participation and engagement throughout today's sessions. And I would like to remember that all the materials that were presented today will be available to the participants and also the recording and even with subtitles in Portuguese will be available at the EU-LAC Digital Accelerator's YouTube channel in the coming days. And we hope this webinar has been useful for you and that it will contribute to fostering new partnerships between Brazilian and European companies. We look forward to seeing you again in future initiatives. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.